So welcome back to our next session. As we continue to build our website, let's continue on and start our XAMPP server. Then start MySQL and close it. Then you start our Visual Studio Code. Alright, then we start our web browser and test to see if our app is running. Okay, so this is where you left off the last time. So you are going to try and continue to build the sign up form. You're going to add input element to this form, and then you continue on from there. You go back to our code, and then we go to our signup.include folder, and you are already here. So we are going to input this div class equal row, then close it, and let's close the tag. Then let's start another tag, div, then class equal column, and let's close the tag. Then let's start another tag, div, class equal another column, and let's close the tag. And then within columns, let's add an input element, input type equal text, name equal first name, and then ID equal first name, then class equal app-user interface app-user interface. Let's see how you have this defined the class for the input. App-user interface. Okay, it seems you have not defined any class for that, so let's give it just app-user interface, that form. Let's use test field as a class, and let's close the input. And then you are going to define another input for input type equal text name equal last name or L name, ID equal L ID, L name, L stand for last, then class equal app-user interface text fill, then close, and close the tab. So let's reload our page and see how this will appear on it. Okay, so both our input elements are being shown here. So don't worry, you use CSS to arrange them properly on the page. So relax, don't worry, you'll work them on very soon. So there is something I want us to add to this session, and that is called placeholder equal what is your first name? What is your first name? Okay, this is a placeholder requesting for someone's name, the person's first name. Then let's do the same thing for placeholder. Please add your last name or names. Let's close that and let's reload our page and see what you have. You see, please, what is your first name? And please add your last name. So this is the instruction that will be telling the user to do that, okay, to input this data for us. So let's go ahead and define our column and row. Value column, have row, and you have column. Let me see where you have columns. So I want them to be in the same place, so that when you are looking for them to work on, it will be easy for us. So row, and then row, I want us to use display to be what? Phrase, and then phrase direction to be row, and then weight should be 190%. Then height should be let's use 50%, no, 50 pixels, and see how the appearance will be. Then you add pad margin to be 4 pixels, and then auto, put them in the center of the whole stuff. So let's reload, shift, then reload, and see the whole thing working out for us. When you do that, this is the outcome. This has shifted, it has put our rows, our input field in a row, but it has shifted our right sidebar, our right bar from where you place them to the left, and that is not what we want. So you face that very soon. Don't worry, let us finish with this, then we get back to that. So now that is quite impressive. So let's define the columns, div, then define the class, the column class, and then we say that the weight is going to be 42%. Sorry, weight. I want the column class to take half of each of the row, because there are going to be 2 elements in a row. In most instances, there will be 2 elements in a row. So the column cannot take the total row, otherwise to pushing element out of what rows. So it's going to be divided. The length of the row, which is what 90%, should be divided by what the columns, taking into consideration the margin and then padding. That's what I've reduced from. I've done it 45%, but I want to take into consideration margin and then padding for any element that will turn up what having those what properties. So the weight is 42%. Then display is phrase, and then phrase direction is column. Okay, and then the height should be what? 100% its parent height. Okay, and then we can leave the margin and the padding as it is. Let's reload and see. Okay, this is what has reload. Okay, this is what we have. Fine, this is quite good. let us go and define the class for the test field. So dot app dash user interface dot test field. Okay, then our test field is going to have an array of 100%, then height 100%, and then we're going to have, or we can't, okay, let's leave it that way. Then we have test color to be black, and then test background color to be white. Okay, we have not done anything seriously to that, but let's reload and see. This is what we are getting. Very open up, nice test bar. Sorry, test field. We are still going to work on it, and then we're going to add margin dash right. Let's say 1%. Let's see 1% and see how it will appear. Let's save it, reload, shift, reload, and no changes, no much change has been done. So let's increase this one to, let's say 5 and see what will happen. Reshift, then reload, and yet still nothing is happening to that. So let's go back to our column and see if you can add margin right to our column. Let's say 3 AM and see how it will appear. Okay, so when we shift, so when we added the margin to the column, they were actually expanding nicely for us. They were expanding nicely for us. So I want us to print the margin from the test field and give them to the column, and it is too big, so let's reduce it to, let's say 2, or probably maybe 1 EM. Okay, 1 EM. It's also a way of defining sizes in CSS. And the size of our test field is something that I don't really like. So let's see if you can increase this one to, let's say 45 and see how they will appear. So shift, reload, and you see the size has not increased a bit, but that is still not satisfying to me. So let's increase it a bit. Let's go beyond its actual. The actual size it's supposed to have was 45. Let's go beyond that and see if it will compromise for us. Okay, then we go shift, reload. Okay, so the size has increased a bit for us. And I think this is looking quite okay. But then the margin only for the right. I want us to define margin for top. Let's say 1 EM 2 and see how it will look. We go back, shift, reload, and I think this is quite cool. This is quite cool. Okay, so our test field is not done. We are going to work on it again. Let's reduce the height for our test field to, let's say 90%. And do that. Let's see what we get. Reload, shift, reload, and nothing much is happening. So let's take that into our column and see if you can do that in our column. 90%, the height of the column. Let's reload, shift, yes, and that has reduced the height of our column element nicely. But I want us to have some round edges in our test field. So let's say border Then going to define some border for our text, 1 pixels solid, and let's have a border color of, let's say, black, and see how it will appear. We go back, then reload, shift reload, and that is good. So let's add some radius. So border radius, let's say 7 pixels, and reload, and you see the radius of our border of our field has been what has changed relatively to our changes. Okay, that is good. This is really good. This is really good. So what I want us to do is to add some changes to what our text field once it has no what focus. When there's no focus, we're going to add some changes to our text field. So the moment there's a focus, then it will change what drastically. So let's go to app, sorry, user interface text field dash dot focus, okay, then okay, so here we can say that opacity for our text field should be like maybe let's say 50%, okay, so that when the text has focus, the opacity should be what 100%. We can also use decimals like 0.1, 0.2, and the highest we got 1. Okay, so we can all use that one to define what opacity. So let's come back, reload our page, and you see when the text field has no focus, this is how it will appear. The moment you put the mouse there, it changes to what white, and this one also changes to white. So we are going to add some box shadow to that. Once it changes, the one has focus, let's add some what box shadow, and then we are going to use something like let's say 3 pixels. The spread radius should be 10 pixels. Then the color, what color do you use? All right, so yes, I've just learned a new trick. So you can use this to actually define the color that you want, and I want us to use something closer to the home page. Oh, this is nice. I just noticed this. I have been using Adobe Dreamweaver in most of my productive site. So this kind of a new software that I'm using for the sake of those who will not be able to get Dreamweaver. So I decided to use this so that you all be on the same page. So let's see some nice color blending for the site will be. So let's choose this one and experiment with it and see how the shadow will look like. So this is the first time doing everything, so don't worry guys. Okay, I want you guys to see everything so that you know that website developers are not some genius guys from other planet. They are just ordinary people like you. So you see the box shadow is what taking an effect. Okay, it's taking an effect. So knowing this, I want us to also change the border color to this one so that the branding will not be in a disarray. So border, we're using black. I want us to use the color that you just designed. If you think of anything else, you can also suggest that in the comment section. And let's reload and then come back and see. This is good. This is good. This is good, but the color has not taken effect. I want the border color, the black section, to be off. So let's then define it. When it gets focused, border should be of this, then the solid is off, and let's reload and see what the appearance will be. So let me just define it, border none, and see what we also have, and then remove this. Okay, so this is how actual developers works. Sometimes you have to do that. There are people that they will have to do that in the prototype software like Adobe SD. They will do everything in it before they come into coding the whole thing. But we are not doing that. We are taking everything from scratch and then you are building it from there. So you see, you have please, what is your first name? Then please add your last names. The moment it gets focused, it will turn into that. Okay. The moment it gets focused, that is how the whole thing works. So we are going to build from this. There's one thing I want us to add to our test field, is that I want us to add padding. Say let's say 5 pixels within the test field and see how things will look. Okay, so let's increase it or expand. So please add your first name. Please add your first name. I want everything about name to be showing. So let's increase the padding to, let's say, 8 pixels and see the outcome. When you do that, yes, the name is not appearing. Don't worry. Let's increase the column field to, let's say, 55 and see if we are compromising the actual height width of the column, and let's reload because it has reached the total width of the row. There's nothing it can do unless we increase the row by some percentage, let's say 5%, the width with 5%, and then let's reload and see. Okay, when you reload and see, you can see that it has stretched to other end. Now you can see all of that, but then still we have our columns being compacted together. So let's reduce the padding by 2%, 2 pixels in the test field. Let's reload and see there have been some sort of separation in here. Okay, but I think the separation is also too much. So let's increase that a bit. So let's say 3 pixels, padding to 3 pixels, and let's reload and see. Okay, so this is quite cool. This is cool. Please, what is your first name? Then please add your last name. So these are the two fields that we have established at the moment. Okay, we are going to continue from there to build our form. We'll signing up to build our form for signing up. So a very interesting project, and I want us, now that we should be able to establish how our test page should look like. Okay, that should not be a problem. I want us to face this, but I want us to finish putting our test page in place. Then from there we can fix it. So for this time we've done over here, I want us to copy them. Just go to the sign up field and then copy this session. Okay, we'll be making modification over time very soon. Then let's put them here because you'll be adding some few stuff. Okay, don't worry, those inputs you'll be making changes to the name, the name, and then the ID section. Okay, and other stuff, but just copy them and place them and reload our page, and you see they are neatly arranged on our sign up form. They are neatly arranged on our sign up form. So in the next session, we're going to continue to build upon what you have done so far, and then we move on to what next session. So please stay tuned and be with us as we continue with our development. Thank you.